when you live in fear, and a slight amount of fear
Can be a good thing.
it's a good thing because it creates excitement on being able to evolve as a human. Welcome to today's episode of In the House podcast, where we explore ways to achieve success by letting go of the outcome. I'm your host, Jenny Woon.
And I'm your host, Tony Singh.
Well, guys and girls and ladies and him, she, who, they, what?
Everybody.
Everybody. Have you ever been so fixated on this, like a specific outcome, that you miss out on opportunities or becoming too focused on the wrong things? Yes or no, Tony? Okay.
Yes.
In this episode, we are going to explore the concept of letting go of the outcome and how it can lead to a beautiful success and peace in your personal, professional life.
Mm-hmm. I love this topic. And I don't know about you, Jenny, but when I was a young realtor starting out in the business, I remember attending some, realtor networking events. This is when I didn't have any clients. I'm like, oh, I really want to have that real estate business. What do I do? So I was networking a lot. And I remember attending some of these events, and some of the top producers would say, as soon as they let go of the outcome, they had massive success. Now that's all well and good. And it is true. That is true, by the way. But listening to that from the place of, I want to grow my real estate business and I'm new in the business, my question was always like, yeah, sure, but how?
Mm-hmm.
All of these people speak about letting go, but how? That's a totally different thing. As an example, newer realtors, I've seen this happen a lot. You probably have as well. On some of their first deals, it's very common that they get attached to the outcome, right? Like, oh, are we going to remove subjects?
Mm-hmm.
Are they not going to remove subjects? Well, you're attached to the outcome at that point, right? Because if they remove, you're directly correlating it with a benefit to yourself and your clients.
Right.
And if they don't, then you're thinking about the loss perhaps. So how do we, this episode today is really all about like, okay, great, letting go for success and unlocking that power. And what are the steps that you can take to actually do that?
Can I share something personal with you, Tony, and with the listeners? It's actually really easy for me to let go and not be attached to the outcome for work.
Mm-hmm.
I have easily done that by understanding that the way people value money and the way I value money and spending is very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I would obviously, as a professional, provide my guidance and support and my idea of what a value of a home is based on comparisons.
Of course.
And that to me is obviously very transactional. And so my emotions don't get into it. So that's how I don't often get attached to those, to the end result with my clients. Why this episode is really helpful for me is because I have way too much focus on the control and the outcome of my personal life.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
I want to control like everything of how someone is interacting with me, how often they're acting with me, or if they like me, or if they accept me, or am I people pleasing? And so it's actually like, I'm really glad because I feel like I can contribute to this episode in a more personal way. And then perhaps you can maybe contribute this.
Well,
I feel like you have really good boundaries on your personal side. Maybe a little bit more control on the professional side.
Yes. However, I am at the stage in my career now where I'm actually never attached to a deal.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So do you know, and the clients have asked me like, how are you not more emotional about this? And I was like, because guys, it's about the highest and best result for you.
Right.
And so it has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help guide you along the process. You're happy. I'm happy to give you my opinion on it when asked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can do. This decision rests with you. So it's like so freeing. And
for me professionally, if it doesn't work out, I'm always thinking, wow, this home wasn't meant to be.
Exactly.
There's going to be a better home that comes down the road. And I don't know why I can't do that on my personal
So
side.
don't worry, you can. Listen, we're not perfect. Things come up. And that's also why we're talking about this too, because while we are at different stages, maybe than someone that's just trying to let go, we still have inner work to do, right? We're not perfect.
No.
And so letting go, the power of letting go basically means not being attached to the outcome and letting go of the desire for a particular result, and instead focusing on the process or journey itself. And here are some strategies that can help you cultivate that mindset of non-attachment in your personal life or in your business life.
Right. So first way to practice this is the mindfulness. I know that we can talk about mindfulness, but what does that really mean? It's the practice of being present in every moment without judgment, and without judgment on yourself and without judgment on another person or another person. So by practicing that, you're going to observe like your thoughts. You're going to sit with your emotions in your chest and bring it down to your stomach, not being attached to it, and just allow it to sit there. Because when you are focusing too much on what's going to happen, it causes anxiety, causes fear, and it doesn't allow it to really unfold. It's honestly, you have it's a false sense of control, what you're trying to do.
Say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the
more
false
detail.
sense of control is really about, okay, well, maybe the outcome or the future has already been pre-written for us already. and then that can be into this woo-woo type of talk. Maybe it was pre-written for us, or one little decision or that moment in time that you were maybe in the right place or wrong place at the right time or the wrong time, it was already pre-written for you that something was supposed to happen the way it was supposed to happen already.
Ooh, you're speaking to something very interesting. If we're talking about woo-woo, but we're not.
Going back to the mindfulness,
yes,
is really trying to withdraw and being detached from the ego, which we talked about last week. Also talking about not putting in like self-judgment, but also, what am I trying to say here?
Well, what are some tactics or things that people can actually use to get into a mindfulness state?
Okay.
Because sometimes people haven't practiced it before, right?
Totally. So for example, when I go for a walk with my dog, it's not listening to everything that's like on my phone or listening to other people's opinions. I just put my phone away and all I'm really doing is walking chai, and I'm letting it stew. Like I'm letting whatever happened just sit before becoming really reactive. So I'm putting that aside and allowing time to heal or work its way through. I've also done a lot of breath work with mindful practice, and as well as mind dumping. So for example, putting everything on paper and really being able to see the bigger picture rather than putting myself into the situation and making it about me.
That's a really good tip. I'm going to have to try that one. That's a good tip. So another component to letting go of these outcomes is focusing on the present moment. This used to be something that annoyed me as well because I was always thinking about the future and the growth, and, I wasn't actually living in the present. So if you're too focused on the outcome, you can miss out on the richness of that present moment. I remember when I had my son, Antonio. It was 2015, and I was not focused on him in the present moment, to be honest. I was still working, and I was focused on work. So I was thinking about all the things I needed to do at home and at work. And that I definitely was not present then. So how can you be present and immerse yourself, be present by immersing yourself at the task at hand, cultivating a sense of flow and fulfillment that's not dependent on the actual outcome. In order to do this, you do have to let go of some expectations. Expectations can create attachment to that particular outcome. And, by letting go of expectations, you are embracing a level of uncertainty, and you can allow yourself to open up. So some tactics that I have implemented over the years to help me focus in on that present moment is I do a morning meditation practice before I start my day. that helps me so much. I don't know what it is. It's just very grounding.
Mhm.
And no matter what happens during the day, even if it's a crazy, active, busy day, it actually helps me focus in on the present moment throughout the day, like when I'm going through it.
Mhm.
And you mentioned this, Jenny, you were walking chai in nature,
Mhm.
right? So being in nature can also help. And it's like, oh, well, what's there? Birds, you can hear the wind.
Mhm.
You can feel the wind on your face. That is the present moment. And also maybe even allowing the emotions that come over you during that time. Maybe you'll have a thought of something.
Mhm.
That's the present moment.
The joy.
The
The
joy
joys of it.
of the wind hitting your face.
Something that's a little bit more strategic is breaking things down into smaller tasks as
Yeah.
well, rather than so that way it's a little bit more manageable and you're actually able to enjoy every step of the way. So when you're actually focused on the little things along the way, then the bigger picture, the bigger goal is not as unachievable. It's not as big or big of a deal as you
Mhm.
think it is. But if those little milestones that you're moving along, at the end of the day, it will get to where it needs to go,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The final another one I want to add is practicing gratitude. Um, when you are also shifting away from the outcome, but just being really positive throughout the process, you're cultivating this moment of joy and fulfillment, regardless of whatever the outcome needs to be, because you're actually enjoying and you're actually celebrating the little steps that you're doing as you get to do it,
Mhm.
not that you have to do it.
Ooh, I like that. My brother Warren says that a lot too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does.
Shout out to Warren. He's not on social
Hey,
media, but
that's okay. He listens to us sometimes
good, good.
on the platforms.
Yeah. And so as a way of gratitude, I know that journaling is difficult for some people,
Mhm.
but sometimes when you're visualizing, when you have visualization exercises
Yeah.
of, wow, this is the feeling you want to hold in your stomach, in your body.
Yes.
You want to, there was one time I was showering, like I did yoga in one of the evenings, and I was in the shower. I felt, I can't even describe it, but this ball of happy. Okay.
Oh.
If I was to like describe happy as a tangible thing, it would have been a ball of like sunshine or fire that was moving from my toe to my head. And it was an incredible experience.
Was this recent?
I'm not even joking, like about a month ago.
That sounds cool.
It was so cool. It was almost releasing of tension that was built up in my body, and then it exploded and I literally cried.
Oh, that sounds very healing.
So anyways, so I was really, I guess, just really grateful for all the access I had to moment of silence, to practicing like exercise and balance and
Mhm.
flow in my life.
Mhm.
And in that moment in the shower, I experienced like this ball of joy in my body.
I've never heard it described that way before. That is super neat.
Mhm.
Hmm.
True story.
The final one that we have here is embracing failure.
Mm.
I like this one a lot because, you know, I'm going to use this example. You're basically born, right? And when you're born as a baby, I've said this before, you don't know what you're doing. You got to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to talk. How many times do you fall down before you learn how to walk?
Mhm.
You become a parent, fast forward, right? You become a parent later in life.
Mhm.
Just because you've now had a child or a baby, do you know what you're doing? No, you don't. And so embracing failure, it's just a fact of life. Failure is a natural part of the learning process. And I think by embracing failure and viewing this as an opportunity
Mm.
to learn and grow, you can let go of any attachment to that fear of failure.
Mhm.
And the possible outcomes that could come along with that association.
Right. And what you can learn from that too.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
found that, over the years, so amazing because it's like, well, I'm never going to get everything 100% right. What would I change in the future?
Right.
How do I want to do that differently? Have you ever read the book by, it's called Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell?
I have not.
It's a great read, everyone. If you're looking, it's a classic as well, if you're looking for a book on that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the funny thing, you mentioned John Maxwell. I was looking into coaching programs, and he's been sent, or not him, Bot has been sending me these email blasts about signing up for his program. So I don't know. It's funny that you brought it up.
Really? Maybe that's a sign.
Maybe it is a sign. So what did we learn? What would you change the next time to be more prepared for embracing what will happen?
It's just training.
I guess it is practicing what? Patience, practicing. Instead of resisting, think of it as assistance instead of resisting. Being really self-aware of that feeling of fear, but anxiety. But also, when you live in fear, in a slight amount of fear,
Can be a good thing.
It's a good thing because it creates excitement on being able to evolve as a human, right?
Yeah, you just don't want to do the downward spiral thing.
Yeah. So just in overall, just giving like a peace of mind that you don't have to be so attached to it. And it's a beautiful thing, I think, to embrace.
You know what's funny? Over the years, some of the most challenging real estate deals that I've done, like really challenging ones where maybe you needed 5 to 10 things to happen synchronistically in order to have the result that the clients wanted. Like, if you look at the negatives there, it can be pretty scary, right? But I have actually found that when I, in those scenarios, have been able to let go completely, it's like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Give it up to a higher power. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. In all of those scenarios, it actually always worked out. But if you're not focused on the present and you're kind of getting involved, it becomes about you and not about the ideal outcome for everyone.
Right. And remember, like, failure's not the end of the world. It honestly is more just a valuable learning experience. It helps us develop in ways that we would never be able to achieve if we didn't fail. And that's what we are as entrepreneurs at the end of the day. And when we can be more open to failure and learning from it, rather than feeling like we're being defeated, it absolutely is a great experience to have to share with people. I think most of all, when we're here on earth, in this world while we're living, is we're being of service to people. And so I always say, I'm the one that, I'm the chosen one to have received this obstacle or challenge. It's because I can tell a story with it, and I can share it with people so that they can learn from it. And it would have been better that I received this challenge or obstacle versus another person, because higher power knew that I could handle it.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it too. For peace and serenity. Yes. So yeah, I think that, hopefully you guys found this episode helpful. We wanted to provide this to you because, like we said, if you're new and starting out in your career, or you've been around for a long time, or even in your personal life, these, like, having unattachment to an outcome can really set you free. And you never know what waits you on the other side. Maybe it's something completely different than you thought, but because you were not letting go, spirit or universe couldn't guide you there.
Well put. We're going to end it at that. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to, wherever platform you're listening to, give us a 5-star or give us a review. We do really appreciate your feedback and being such loyal listeners. Till next time.
Bye.